And we're starting.
You're listening to the Meltdown.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 15 of the Meta Meltdown. Today is Thursday, September 1st, 2016. Can you believe it's already September, Nate?
I can't, and you got the date right without stumbling through it for the first time in a month, so well done, sir.
Yes, thank you so very much. And for those of you who don't know what the Meta Meltdown is about, the Meta Meltdown is a weekly 20-minute podcast about the current meta in Hearthstone. Each week we'll focus on a specific deck and we'll provide insight on how to pilot the deck in order to succeed on the ladder. This week we actually have two decks. We are mostly going to be talking about Firebat's Druid deck, but also I played a lot of Reynad's aggro Druid deck, so we'll talk about that a little bit as well. My name is Dominic Silverddragn Nguyen, and I have, of course, my co-host here, Nate Wolter, aka Natediggity. How's it going, buddy?
It's going pretty well, my friend. I'm just excited to talk about Beast Druid and the many iterations that it has and how the meta is shaken up, how Warrior Stone is officially gone, so it's going to be a good week. How you doing?
Doing really well, thank you. Yes, goodbye, Warrior Stone. Welcome to Curve Stone. Um, so this week we'll talk about our personal Hearthstone news, our general Hearthstone news. We'll talk about the Tempostorm meta report, the new Vicious Syndicate Data Reaper report that came out today, and then we'll talk about Firebat's Beast Druid this week. So yeah, Nate, how did you do? Well, actually, we haven't even talked about what we've done in Hearthstone really for the past 2 to 3 weeks. So how have you been doing in Hearthstone for the past 2 to 3 weeks?
Yes, so it's kind of hard to remember that far back, but I did hit Legend this month for the 10th time.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you. So, and I played actually a lot of Rogue. I'm trying to get my 9th Golden Hero. I have like 211 more wins or something like that. So I'm really excited for the new Rogue cards, just to kind of dick around with them.
Mhm.
How was your last couple of weeks?
It was really good. I like randomly, I remember because of work was stressing me out, I randomly started playing Arena, and I was like, maybe I should record this one. So I recorded it and actually went 12-0, so that was really, really fun. The deck was like broken. First pick was Dr. Seven, second pick was Sludge Belcher, and I get like a plethora of like ridiculous cards. It was disgusting.
Nice,
Like
nice.
I went up to I think I went up to 9 or 10 wins just like without trying, and then I was like, okay, I have to focus on these last two wins just to make sure I don't lose. But that was really fun.
That's crazy,
Um,
man. Congrats.
Thank you, I really appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, the light. I already had a Light Forge key from like just after beta, but I mean the game's changed a lot, so I was really happy to get a 12-0 Light Forge key recently. And
What
then
class was it? Did you already
I
say?
think it was Mage. Yeah,
Mm,
it was because I mean Mage is ridiculous.
a little
But
bit.
yeah, and especially in arena. And then Ben Brode actually tweeted me back because I saw someone. I was playing Pokemon Go,
People
and
still play that?
yeah, I know it's crazy. Yeah, I've been holding this gym for like 2 weeks, and this guy named Ben Brode was playing. So I took a picture and I tweeted Ben Brode, "Hey, is this you?" Just I didn't think it was, but just in case. And he's like, "Maybe." I was like, "All right, cool, sweet." Ben Brode, thanks, bro. Father of Hearthstone, basically.
That's right.
Yep, and then I actually played a lot of Reynad's deck this week, and I did really well with it. I think I have like a 70-ish% win rate, and I played like 25 games, so not terrible.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then I played the Tavern Brawl, which is not that good. I don't like it very much, but
Yeah, the
yeah,
Portal's not a big fan, but it's
yeah,
all right. You get a
yeah.
free pack.
Free pack, yay! Yeah. So in ladder news, actually the Spire came out today, and I actually haven't had a chance to play it yet. But Nate played a little bit of it. So what did you think of it so far?
I actually really like some of the interactions with the boss fights. I haven't done heroic yet,
Mhm.
but like the dragon one, it's pretty unique as far as capabilities.
Mhm.
So it's pretty fun, and the new cards are pretty decent. We get Medivh and some other new cards this week. Obviously, I really like Ethereal Peddler, the 5/6 rogue card that battle cries reduce all of your other cards that you got from other classes this game by 2 mana.
Mhm.
So I've been memeing on some kids with that earlier today. I was playing against a shaman, and I think I burgled, and the two cards that I got were Earth Elemental, and then after that I got Ancestral Spirit. So turn 5, I played Earth Elemental. I prepped, and so I got to play Ancestral Spirit for free, and then I Ancestral
Oh,
Spirit to
wow.
Earth Elemental. So 7/8 with Death Rattles, not too
There
shabby.
you go. I like it. That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. What cards are you looking forward to this week?
I mean, I don't really like any of the cards that are coming out this week. Medivh sounds like he'll be interesting, but not really competitive, so that'd be more fun. I'm actually looking at because I initially started out Hearthstone playing like Zoo mostly, so Makazar's Imp is gonna give us a new Zoo variant. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad. But yeah, it's basically like you draw a card for every time you discard a card. So, and it's a 1/3 for one, which isn't terrible. So
That's pretty good stats.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's the only deck that I lost to today against my Milkshake Rogue.
Oh
So,
really? Oh okay.
and it barely beat me, so I don't know. Either my Rogue was really good or he was pretty bad. I don't know.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, looking forward to that. We'll see how well it does. Let's go into the meta report for Tempostorm. They call it the demise of the warrior. Nate.
That's what I call it. So.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Nate calls it the demise of the warrior.
Yes.
Let's go through it.
It's sad. War's my favorite class, but I just hated playing it 90% of the time. So.
Sure. Yeah, I feel you.
All right. So tier 1, 4 decks. Number 1, Aggro Shaman. Number 2, Yogg Token Druid. Number 3, Dragon Warrior. And number 4, Temple Mage. And number 5 in tier 2, they have Beast Druid.
Spicy.
So I think it's pretty accurate. I was surprised to see Temple Mage up there. I did play like 10 games this week in Temple Mage, and it's kind of strong with that new card, the damn, I forget the name, the book something. It gives you a random mage spell.
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about the 1/1.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. I like it. And then Beast Druid obviously still needs a lot of tuning, but it's very, very good deck, I think.
I think so
What do
too.
you think about that top 5?
Yeah, I think it's nice to see the meta shake-up, obviously. I really like Yogg Saron. Praise be to Yogg. So I'm glad that's still up there. I like the addition of Temple Mage. It gives a little bit more color to our deck, to our meta reports. But yeah, we'll see how well it does. I think people start experimenting, especially with Beast Druid, because Menagerie Warden is so strong. But yeah, so I like it. I'm glad Beast Druid is doing well. I hope it does a little bit better. Because I think, yeah, I really, really like Menagerie Warden as a card. It's extremely, extremely strong. So
It's okay.
no, dude. Okay, we'll talk about the interactions in a bit. But yeah, let's go to the Data Reaper report now. Nate, please take it away again.
Yes, sir. So Data Reaper report number 16, and this is for all ranks on the ladder. Tier 1, 1 through 5 here is Aggro Shaman at 54.5% win rate, which is crazy.
It's pretty yeah.
Considering we've only really have been seeing about 52, maybe 53% win rate, so it's really getting up there now. Hybrid Hunter at 53%, Mid-Range Hunter at 52.5%, Dragon Warrior at 52.5%, and then Zulok at 52.5%, or 52%, we'll call it. And then Beast Druid is actually tier 3, just bring it up here. It's at a 48.8% win rate. I think that's due just because it's a not necessarily brand new archetype, but it's a brand new competitive archetype on the ladder. So people are still refining their lists. As you can see, if you're watching the VOD, Raynad's deck definitely differs a lot than Firebat's deck. So a lot of people are trying out crazy iterations of it. So I think it'll definitely rise in top, tier 1, maybe top of tier 2 here pretty soon once people start refining their list. And then I also wanted to mention Aggro Shaman at the Legend rank was even higher. It was like a 55% win rate.
Geez.
So yeah, it's stupid nuts, and that's actually how I hit Legend.
Aggro Shaman.
Actually, I was facing a lot of hunters. I was just getting pissed off because I was just getting beat against everything. So I think I went like 22-6 from rank 4 to Legend, and I faced like 11 hunters or something. I won 11-0.
That's a lot, yeah.
It's pretty good against hunters. So if you hate hunters, just play Aggro Shaman. You're good.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think Aggro Shaman, I mean, it's obviously a very refined list as well, so, I mean, they're probably really, taking advantage of people who are trying out new stuff as well, so, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I was that guy.
No worries. Whatever it takes to hit Legend, that's for sure. All right, sounds good. And it looks like we have some observations from the meta reports, and that's Nate's notes. So don't take those away.
Yeah, just a couple things I noticed we've kind of already covered. The first one is Warrior. It's not the top class anymore, played in ranked. I believe it was number 4 in all games, including ranked, and then just ranked it was number 3 behind Shaman and Druid. So the next point then, Druid has a huge spike in games played over the past week, and that's obviously mostly in part due to Beast Druid, and then there's a Malagos list that's kind of like a token list as well that's become really popular. I think Frozen might have got number 1 legend with it this past month. So with those 2 decks, Druid has really become super good. And Token Druid with Yogg was already good, so Druid might be the top class here coming up pretty soon.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, definitely. I like the fact that we have multiple archetypes, so when you're playing Druid, you don't necessarily know what you're facing against. But yeah, so I really like that about Druid.
Yeah, not like the old days where it's just combo Druid
everywhere. Yeah, exactly. Gotta stay above that 14 health, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir.
But yeah. All right, so let's go through this week's deck list. Do you want to go through yours, and then I'll go through mine?
Yeah, of course. So I was playing Fire Bats, and just to run through it real quick, you had 2 Innervates, 2 Enchanted Ravens, 2 Living Roots, 1 Finley, 2 Druid of the Sabers, 2 Fairy Dragons, 2 Mark of Yasiraj, 2 Power of the Wilds, 2 Mounted Raptors, 2 Swipes, 2 Violet Teachers, 2 Azure Drakes, 2 Druid of the Claws, 2 Stranglethorn Tigers, 2 Menagerie Wardens, and then 1 Curator.
Okay. Sorry, I muted myself for the stream, but I forgot you can still hear me. My bad, sorry. And then Reynad's deck is the deck that I played the most. It has 2 Innervates, 1 Abusive Sergeant, 2 Enchanted Ravens, 2 Living Root, 1 Surfing Murgleton, 2 Direwolf Alpha, 2 Druid of the Saber, 2 Mark of Yogg-Saral, 2 Jungle Panther, 2 Savage Roar, 2 Savage Combatant, 2 Swipe, 2 Druid of the Claw, 1 Leroy Jenkins, 2 Stranglethorn Tigers, 2 Menagerie Wardens, and 1 Ragnaros the Fire Lord.
I really like this list. I actually watched Renan hit Legend with this, and combinations like Savage Roar and Leroy Jenkins, kind of like OTK style, and then the Jungle Panthers are stealth, so you can kind of guarantee the Menagerie Warden battle cry. Same thing with the Stranglethorn Tiger. And then Reg just kind of top of the curve if you need 8 damage. So really like it.
Yeah,
what do you think of it?
I like it a lot. I definitely play it. Well, I think I play it decently, but I don't play it as well as Reynad, obviously. I watched some extreme VODs where he was like, yeah, so I'm gonna keep like Menagerie Warden even though I don't have the coin. And he used like he drew perfectly, and he won the turn in he won the game in 4 turns with, I can't remember, it was I think Druid of the Saber plus Mark plus something else, and yeah, it was disgustingly fast. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So the deck's obviously really good. If a scrub like me can play it to mild success, or yeah, I think pretty good success honestly, then yeah, it's really really tight in terms of how tuned it is. I don't think there's a lot of cards you want to sub out really, but super fun. What do you think about Fire Bats?
I really liked it. He kind of went more classic as far as what everyone else has been doing. So I'm just going to say first and foremost, I really don't like Finley Murgleton in these decks. I know Firebat did it for a Curator draw. I think Reynad was just going for something like
I think he was looking for
100 hero power.
Yeah, Warlock.
Yeah, or Warlock just to draw. So I really don't like Finley. I think Druid already has a really good hero power. And the Fairy Dragons I played around with, I felt like it already had some good 2-drops and it didn't synergize as well as it could have. So I also swapped those out for 2 Druid of the Flames, which is either the 2/5 or the 5/2 for 3. And it also synergizes as well with Fandral.
Makes sense.
Actually, I think I swapped out something for Fandral as well because he's not in this list.
Yeah, but I'm a huge fan of Fandral inside Druid decks. But yeah, I can't remember what you swapped out. But I was looking at some other decks too that had Fandral in them. They're really good.
Yeah, so I liked it overall. I love the Curator. as a card. It's super good as far as value in drawing, and it creates archetypes outside of Beast Druid. It's got a lot of it's included in a lot of other archetypes. I know it was in like Murloc Paladin, and then like there's Menagerie Paladin going around, which is a shitty deck, but yeah. So I liked it overall. It's a good deck.
No worries. All right, so let's talk about how you did personally with the deck. So you did really well, I assume?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have my win rate from this
okay.
week. Apparently, my computer restarted the other week, and I haven't used TrackleBot since. So
I see. No
missing
worries.
a ton of games. What about you? I know you said like 70%.
Yeah, I had about a 70%, 71.43% win rate. I did really well. I won all my games against Priest and Rogue. I did really well against Hunter and Warrior. I went even with other Druid, which makes sense, and Paladin. And then the only games that I didn't do over 50% with were Mage for whatever reason. Yeah, probably a lot of board clears.
Yeah, Mage is in a good spot, and they do contest the board early pretty well, so it doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, so I mean the deck's really good. I had about 17 wins, 8 losses, or whatever. I can't remember exactly, but
That's good.
So that was really good for me. And yeah, but we'll talk about Firebat's deck a little bit more clearly. Let's go with the overview for Firebat's deck. Nate?
Sure. So basically, you're looking to start out fast with early beast drops and then keep the board as clear as possible. Basically, you want to maintain control of the board as long as you can throughout the game, because this deck, it's very hard to find a good comeback mechanic unless you can get like a really good swipe and then roots or something to that effect. So basically, just try and keep board control, keep your beasts out there, and then eventually overwhelm your opponents with your beast, and then just try and create more with Menagerie Warden. And then depending if you're playing like a finisher like Savage Roar or whatever, then that definitely helps as well.
Definitely.
So pretty easy. Just keep board control and don't lose.
Just curve out. Welcome to Curvestone, like I said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So let's talk about matchups now. Nate?
Sure. So the good, the bad, and the ugly as usual. So above 55% is good matchup. So that would be against Control Priest, Reno Lock, and Control Warrior. So it's kind of like a mid-rangey deck most of the time, so it fits really well in that slot. A couple bad matchups, which is 35% through 45%, which is Tempo Mage, Aggro Shaman, Mid-Range Shaman, and Dragon Warrior. So all tempo decks that can get the board earlier for Druid. So definitely makes sense there as well. And then there's no ugly matchup, so this deck does pretty well against everything, basically.
That's good, yeah. Definitely, making sure you get your little optimizations in to do really well. And, you could definitely hit Legend with it, with both decks, I think, so.
Oh, easily. It's a super good deck, and I know we said it was 48% win rate earlier, but everyone in the Grandmother were trying it earlier or last month, so there's a lot of bad iterations out there as well. So once it gets refined a little bit more, we're going to see the win percentage go up a lot, I think.
I think so too. Sounds good. Let's talk about cards that stand out in both decks. So one of my favorites, of course, is Menagerie Warden. I've been talking about it for weeks. Menagerie Warden is absolutely ridiculous, especially if you get a turn 5 Stranglethorn Tiger out there. I think it's in both decks, yeah. Menagerie Warden Stranglethorn Tiger is so strong. You get like a free 10/10 for 6 mana. And then if you have Mark of Yogg-Saral, you get like, 14, 12 12s, basically. And that's, or no, 14 14s.
Good math.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, it's ridiculous, and it brings back the 14/14, dealing 14 damage. The next turn is, it really sets swings the tempo back in your favor. If you're doing worse, or if you're doing better than your opponent, then you just close out the game a lot faster. Nate,
yeah, Menagerie Warden is stupid broken. So basically, if you do the math, if you put it on any beast that's already in your deck, you're getting the mana value and even more with it. So if you put it on a 1/2 Druid, it would be for 6 mana. So then you basically have 6/7 worth of stats, which is a vanilla card, which is the basic vanilla ogre. So anything above and beyond that is awesome value. So Stranglethorn Tiger, just stupidly broken if you can copy that. So I think I was watching Hot Form actually. The guy he played against innervated turn 3, put out Stranglethorn Tiger, and then the next turn innervated on turn 4, and then put
Oh
out Menagerie
no.
Ward. So by turn 4, he had 15-15 on the board. So
Yeah. Game's over.
it's pretty stupid what you can do with this deck. So definitely a good card. Other cards that sort of stood out, the Curator. I know we kind of already talked about it, so I won't touch on that much more. The other one is Violet Teacher. Some people played that or Savage Combatant. So basically, you either play one or the other to fill up that 4 slot. I like Violet Teacher because you do have a lot of
Spells, yeah.
yeah, spells exactly in the deck. So, and Savage Combatant isn't bad either, especially if you can duplicate it with Menagerie Ward, and then you can hero power for 5.
Mhm.
So that's pretty good as well. So try them both out, see what you like better. So yeah, those are basically the cards that stood out to me. Did you have any others?
I mean, Sir Finley stands out a little bit, but not in like the best way. Like I feel like sometimes you get a worse hero power, obviously because you only get to pick 3. I think it's a little clunky. I don't really like it that much. But I mean, it's a good card for the curator, and if you do happen to get the Hunter hero power or the Warlock hero power, then you're doing really well for yourself there as well. And yeah, I don't really think there's too many other cards. I know some people were talking about swapping out Fairy Dragons for Wrath because they felt like they already had a lot of 2 drops. And early game drops, and Wrath is a really, really good card, obviously. But I don't know if you tried that at all, Nate.
I actually think I tried Wrath on the first iteration that I made myself, and then I played like Fire Bats, and you can see that Radiance doesn't have Wrath either.
Mhm.
I don't think it's really that good in here. It's a 2 mana, and most of the time you kind of want to cycle so you can draw more.
True.
So,
Yep.
and I think Living Roots does as good as a job as well. So I think it's fine without it, to be honest. So I think they made a good choice in getting rid of that.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Cool. So let's go into the mulligan, especially for Firebat's deck. What are we looking for in that deck?
Yeah, so basically to get the board early and often and late game, you want your Innovates, of course, probably arguably the best card in the game.
Yep.
Sir Finley is usually pretty good, especially if you're playing like against Zoo, you can trade pretty good value. Living Roots, Enchanted Raven, Druid of the Saber, Fairy Dragon if you decide to keep it in the deck. And then you can keep any of your 3, 4, and 5 drops if you have Innovates to follow them up. And essentially you can just like keep any card in your deck if you have like the proper mana for it the next turn or 2. So you can even keep Curator if you want to play it on turn 2. If you want to like double innervate and coin hypothetically, and then you would just draw 3 cards afterwards. So
It's pretty strong, yeah.
yeah, either way, I mean, basically, I mean you just have to assess and try and figure out what you're playing against to get maximum value, of course. What about against control, Dom?
So for control, you basically have the same strategy. Again, I call it curve stone because you're really, really, really looking to curve out. You don't want to float any mana. I mean, if you're gonna float mana, just float 1 for the first like 4 turns, and you'll be pretty much good. But yeah, you definitely want to retain your board control and fight them by, Hearthstone's design, which is like minion trading and or for value minion trading and doing really well with your minions and keeping your board up. So if you find Innovates and Stranglethorn Tigers and Menagerie Warden, you're really, really, really set. And even having like an Enchanted Raven plus the what's the Mark of Yogg-Saron is a really, really strong opening. And yeah, again, like if you have the mana for it, like Nate said, it's probably the best idea to just make sure you're using all your mana efficiently and then curving out in order to win the deck. Again, I know Nate said before as well that we don't have a lot of comeback mechanics. Reynad's deck has a little bit more of a comeback mechanic than Firebats does, just because I can play Rag and hopefully hit 8 damage, or play Leroy and hit for 6, or whatever. But in Firebats, you're definitely really curving out and trying to do really well in that regard. So that's pretty much it for control. Anything else, Nate?
Yeah, I think that basically covers the mulligan. Just get 2 innervates and a big creature, and then you're off to the races.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a pretty pretty straightforward deck to play. I find it really fun. I don't, I will see for our viewers if they also find it as fun as I do. And if not, then there's a lot of iterations. You can definitely iterate on it yourself. The decks are definitely far from perfect, and yeah, go try to see different combinations and see if you can, make the deck list a little better. Post on Reddit, and see if you can really affect the meta. I think with Beast Druid, so it's a good time, especially for Druid this week. Yep.
Yeah, go try it out. It's like you said, it's good and it is fun and broken.
Pretty broken, yes.
It's kind of funny how one card just brought it together with Menagerie Warden. I guess you could say Curator, but not all iterations run Curator. So
yeah, I think Menagerie Warden definitely brought up the deck a lot, and yeah, it was my pick for the number one card out of One Night in Karazhan for a reason. And yeah, so I'm really excited to try to play around with it this week and see how far I can get with the deck. And yeah, that'll be about it for this week, guys. Thank you for everyone who's watching and downloading the podcast. Your support absolutely means the most to us. For us, we do it for fun, but I mean, it's really, really nice to have people watch and care about this kind of thing as well. Shout out to our moderator, Ritual Plays, as usual. Thank you again for moderating Twitch chat. I know there's like tons of people in there, so you gotta make sure they step them out. And yeah, do you have any shoutouts, Nate? I know we always ask our guests to do shoutouts, but do you have any shoutouts for yourself?
Shout out to my wife for putting up with my nerdy hobbies. She is a saint. What about you?
Shout out to my girlfriend as well. She definitely puts out a lot of. She does put out. Anyways, so shout out to her for being able to put up with me, and thank you for Francis for allowing me to do this in his room, even though he's going out right now. Yeah. All right. We've probably spent a lot of time on this episode. Too long, I think, for your morning drive. You can find this deck list and any previous shows at metameltdown.com. You can find us at twitch.tv/metameltdown every Thursday now at 7 p.m. I know we started a little late, but definitely come on today and every Thursday at 7 p.m. to come watch us. You can find us at Twitter at the MetaMeltdown, YouTube at MetaMeltdown. Our email is metameltdownpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, that'll be about it. We're doing Temple Mage next week, Date?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good. Alright, thank you for listening. We'll be back next Thursday. Bye, guys.